Hello everyone, welcome back to Total Football TV, and we are going to start with a review of the GMF Under-10s first game of the season against Latchford and Thelwall FC Under-10s. I think they're part of the Freedom Football setup. MYSL is back in full swing. Once again, we are playing at a very high level. These leagues, as always, run by Billy and his team, are brilliant, really well thought out, really well kind of established now. And we are, once again, grateful to be back playing in this particular setup. Back in Division 1 for the boys. We were in the championship last year. We found it very difficult. We were a few players short, I think, last year in terms of not being able to match the teams. We had maybe some players that were capable of playing at that level, and then some of the younger kids found it difficult to kind of match some of the levels that we were up against. So we dropped down halfway through last year, and we found our feet again. We won the cup final against Team Goal. Brilliant final. The highlights are on the channel if you want to check them out. And then we have now kicked off Division 1 once again, and we've managed to bring in a couple of new recruits. I'm going to talk about them. Archie and Leo have joined our team. They've now just kind of added on top of some of the newer ones that have come in, and the likes of Noah, who came in halfway through last season as well. And these three players in particular have really made a big difference and give us a really different type of structure and a different type of team, which has been brilliant to kind of watch and cover. As I said, we were playing Latchford, and they were a very impressive team. I'm going to pick out a couple of players from their team that really stood out. Very good team. We played them before. We've had victories against them before. They beat us last year as well in a couple of games too. So not much between the teams. We did come out ultimately on top in this particular match, but despite the fact that we maybe won the game, I wouldn't say it was a complete reflection of how the game actually went down. Latchford created lots of chances, and their number, they're a bit. We'll look at their midfield in a little bit, and their young striker. But we'll start with the GMF boys, and that was with Archie. Archie was brought in. He came in the tail end of last year. Played a couple of games played one game with the boys. Played a couple of games in the pre-season and did very well. And yeah, you could kind of see the different type of what he brings. He brings a lot of energy to this team. He played in midfield. It wasn't just the energy. He's quite powerful, and he is quick thinking. One particular moment that really stood out was early doors. Whenever he got the opportunity he got fouled for a free kick, he got up, he seen Dan on a run, and Dan played the ball down, or he played Dan in. Dan blazed over the bar, but you could already see the cogs were going, the brain was ticking, the mind was kind of in full swing. He was a kid who's on it, and he looked like he's got plenty of ability and will bring a lot to this particular team. We then look at Dan. Coming back to Archie before I move on to Dan. Archie then also scored a couple of very well taken goals. The first one Dan tries to thread a pass to him. It gets a slight deflection en route. Archie still picks it up and finds the bottom corner of the net, showing his prowess in front of goal. Second one, he gets a ball across the box. Connor gets a flick on, and there Archie is from the corner to tap it place it in on the back post. Again, another fine finish. So really delighted to have Archie in the team, and he will bring plenty of sort of energy and passion and skill, which is just what we needed. We needed just another couple of players who were able to help us move forward. Then we've also got Dan, who Dan missed the cup final, which was disappointing for us. Dan's a really important player. Dan's one of the longest serving GMF. I think Dan's actually now the longest serving GMF kid. He's been there from under-6s. Now we're at under-10s. And Dan has made a real impact. It doesn't matter whether you play Dan in defence or play him up front. Played in defence to start with, and clips one of the passes through to Dara to get one of his goals. And Dan managed to pick off a couple of goals himself. Both running through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and Dan knows how to finish. And also he looks like over the summer he's kind of bulked up a little bit. So in the past, Dan's maybe been a little bit kind of lightweight, like a lot of our team were last year, but not this year. Dan, you could see him kind of muscling his way through players and muscling his way into the team, and doing very, very well. Quite skillful anyway, quite quick anyway, but now with that little bit of extra bite in his body, is I think he's going to help with us moving forward, and we're going to cause teams, I think. By no means do I think we're the best team in the league. I think we still have some vulnerabilities. But I think moving forward we have a very, very strong team. And we have a lot of strong kids, whether they're starting or they're coming off the subs bench to change the game. We are in a much better position now with a much stronger squad. Almost feels like we've got too many players at the minute. Coming to Coach Jack. Jack has been with the team, and Jack is a very, very progressive manager. Even though in his sort of early fledgling stage of the whole process, Jack is someone who is keen on developing the boys. He really wants the boys to get the ball down. He really wants them to get them to play. But he also understands that sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes it's just about kind of getting, clearing your lines and resetting and being ready for what comes at you next. He took over from Callum last year, and he's really come on quite a bit himself. And he's got a great affiliate. He's got a great affinity with the boys, and the boys kind of listen to him, and they try and implement what the style that Jack wants, and what Jack's trying to get from the games, which I think from the sidelines is brilliant. There is a lot of respect for Jack. Like all kids, they don't want to be sitting on the bench, but that's great. They just want to play. They just want to show what they can do. And every kid, and I went through all the kids from the GMF boys, all were brilliant. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up from the Latchford couple of players that I was just going to pick out from the match. They had a young lad playing in midfield. Not entirely sure what his name is. He may have been Rory. I'm not entirely sure. Quite tall, really skillful, really powerful midfielder. Causes us all sorts of problems all day. There's a point in the match where he does a very early kind of like a Maradona turn and evades a tackle, and then kind of skips past Braden and manages to play a really good pass back to his winger, who gets in a really good shot. I can't remember if Theo got a save to it or if it just whistled wide, but he was showing kind of progress throughout the match. There was another time where he got I think he picked up the ball and he had a free kick. It was kind of later on in the match, and he pinged it down the pitch and put one of his players through. Brilliant pass. There was another time where he took the ball from a corner and blazed it over the bar, but you could see he had a lot of power in his shots. He had quite a bit of vision, as you could see from that free kick, and he obviously quite skillful. And our boys really had to dig in deep at times to counteract what he was throwing at them. So just want to give a shout out to him. And there was another young lad. There was two young lads who got through several times on us. One lad, he didn't have a jersey on, but he scored two excellent goals, and both times he was through one-on-one with Theo. He was clinical. I think there was a third time he was through one-on-one. I think Theo managed to get a block on it. Maybe one in the first half, one in the second half. But his finishing, he flicked one up over Theo, which was a great finish. Really impressive. But he caused us problems the whole day, where we really had to try and contain him every time he was trying to break through. But as I said, there was other players that shout out the Latchford goalkeeper too, who also made some excellent saves, despite having quite a few shots thrown against him, especially in the early part of the match. That's one thing that we've been a little bit weak on last year, was quick starts. We even found that in the cup. In the couple of games that we played in the cup matches, if you're not out of the blocks really quickly, you can get behind, and it's very difficult to get back in the match. And I think for these particular games going forward, especially with the quality we're going to be up against, we can't leave it to going behind to try and get back into the games, because it's going to be very difficult. At one stage we were 3 up very quickly. Then Latchford got it back to 3-2 with a couple of very impressive, as I said, those 1v1 goals. So on reflection, it was a very good game. We got the win. Very happy with it. And looking forward to the next one. We think we play Dragonfire. Oh, I can't remember the name of them now. We need to go and research that one. Brilliant test. Great way to start Division 1. good way to end the day, because the weather was horrific. As per usual, last year it rained, I think, 22 times out of 27 matches. This year it's halfway through the first match, halfway through the first half, the heavens opened and the usual weather and the wind picked up, and yeah, load of nonsense. But the football was really good, and hopefully that warmed people up on the sidelines. It certainly warmed me up, from both teams. Really, really enjoyable game. And yeah, now we look forward to the next one. Early kickoff, 8 o'clock this coming Sunday. Can't wait for it. And we will do another review on that one. Thanks very much if you're enjoying it. Please, if you're liking the channel, give it the old thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button for me. That massively helps me out. And yeah, we will see what happens over the coming months and weeks. See how we do in Division 1. But yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks, and see you soon.